I feel very moody in this lighting. I decided to make kimchi. Can you hear the ambulance? They sell kimchi here, but I thought, well, why buy it when I can make it myself? And this is how you undo yourself. Do I clean this up? Yeah. You go in here with your friends. It's also a good excuse to clean up the fridge, because probably there's some stuff that it's more surviving than thriving, like me. It's gonna be a lot of kimchi if I do all of this. Gonna wash these vegetables and come back. I like my kimchi in already cut in small strips. I find it that it's more pleasing to eat. I made kimchi with a friend last year. So good. It was the best kimchi I ever had. Do you want to chat a little bit more personal? Am I lonely? Living alone? Not really. I haven't hung out with anyone except my landlady. She told me, hey, I want to meet you. I want to have a pizza with you. And I said, hell yeah. It was such a lovely meeting. I have never had that kind of like a time, a space to chat with someone, I mean, with the landlord on such friendly terms. And she has been so nice. And she paid for the pizza. How much salt should I use? That is a very good question, you know. You should use minimum 2% of the thing weight. Yeah, 2% of 1 kilo is like let me take my phone. I think it's probably around 20 grams. I checked that it's salt instead of sugar. I don't understand why some people are so scared of being alone, because to me it's such a freeing feeling. I feel like I can finally be myself. I don't feel watched if I am alone. It's finally the moment where I can fully relax and just live with myself. When I am with someone else, even though I try not to, I often end up trying to anticipate their needs, trying to pacify them. I am working hard on stopping this and kind of think more like, okay, if someone doesn't raise a problem with me directly, then it's not my problem, because otherwise they must talk to me. And I agree with this. I think it's great. It's what I would like to do. But the reality is that it's a lot more difficult than just saying it. There are things that your body has learned. That thing that you call personality is kind of like just a bunch of automatisms, coping mechanisms that you're not aware of, and stuff that you think it's your taste, and it is taste that has been fed to you. through lots of commercials and carefully placed ads. This is not to say that we don't have a personality. Just that if we think, oh gosh, I spilled salt, damn, that's going to be, I mean, I'm gonna be so unlucky now. Damn. What I just want to say with this whole spiel is that it is dangerous to think yourself above influencing, to think yourself above your brain and above your body as well, because you're not. You have so much less control than you think you do. And I don't have a solution for this. My solution for this is to constantly remind myself this, trying to be aware of what I can, because there are definitely so many things that I'm not aware of and that I'm not sure I can become aware of as of now. Because, you can imagine stuff that it's in your head, but what you cannot fathom, that cannot become conscious thought. The unknown unknowns in your brain are going to stay there until you meet the right circumstances that will help bring those unknowns and those unconscious automatic patterns to light, and then you can struggle with them consciously. That's what I would say. And this stays like this for an hour or two. Just gonna stop for a few seconds because I'm hungry. I need to eat something. I'm gonna have a biscuit. I love this Dinkeldoppelkeks Zartbitter from DM. They're kind of like, and they have this little cacao cream inside. It's good. What we have here are, so I just prefer to do carrots and onion. I prefer my kimchi spicy and salty and tart, not really overly sweet. Now let's see if I learn how to properly chop carrots. This knife is not the best for my hand and for my wrist, but it's okay. Maybe I can show you like why it's not the best. So this part is good because like the knife, the metal probably goes into around here. This makes it a little bit more balanced than those that have a metal rod that stops here. This indentation is great because it allows a space for your finger when you're cutting, so you are not crushing this finger on the board, but I'm crushing these fingers here. That is why I prefer a Sentaku knife that goes straight here, and it's better for my hand. I also prefer like a wider blade because it allows me to really get into this basculating movement that is really handy to chop vegetables because it saves your wrist a lot of strain. Also, most of the advice that I find on the internet is for right-handed people. I am left-handed and it has never led to anything useful. would you like a renter who makes kimchi in your apartment? This is basically a mummified scallion. Okay, so will ferment better with less water. But talking about how much everything costs, let's talk about you're 30. You literally have always worked. You have nothing to show for it. Like, no money, no savings, not a home, not a family, not even a cat. Like, I couldn't afford a cat, I would be one vet bill away from the streets. Who the hell can afford cats or dogs these days? And yes, I am in a relationship, but we don't have plans to live together because we have very different lives, and that is okay. It is a very sad feeling because you know that you are doing everything you can, you are working, and you did all the things that everyone has always told you to do, like study, get a degree, you will get a good job. I got 2 degrees, studied in a bunch of universities, even started a PhD. Never had a good job in my life. Something that absolutely upsets me is like when people like parents are like, yeah, you went to university, but there are jobs that are never going to stop being in demand, like an electrician or a mechanic. And you're like, yes, but like, you've always told me to get a degree. And they're like, well, but you were not forced. Okay. Now, can we think about this for a moment? I'm not assigning faults or sins to anyone here. I just want to say that if something gets repeated to someone over and over and over again, they will simply absorb it. And especially with children, when you are a literal child, and I remember that when I was 5 or 6, my mom would tell me, yes, you will go to university. You will do a master's degree. I remember that, and now she always tells me that it never happened. It wasn't until after I got my bachelor's that I thought, well, maybe I didn't have to go to university, but I had never considered even the possibility. And I think it is the same for lots of people, especially younger millennials. I know what would have happened in my household had I said, hey, I want to learn the trades. Hey, I don't want to go to university. I don't want to study. I just want to do a practical job. Jesus Christ, heaven and hell would have rained down on us. It simply was not possible because the narrative was, you are intelligent and so you must study. And also, professors do this. I think it's absolutely useless and it's not a good thing to equate intelligence to the capacity or the inclination for studies. Intelligence doesn't really equate to how many books you read or whether you decide to go study Latin in high school. Knowledge can absolutely nurture your intelligence, but we should stop using this as a dichotomy that you are either intelligent and hence you must study at university and pursue a kind of like white collar job. Otherwise, you are stupid and you're going to end up in a blue collar career. Some of the smartest people I know actually have degrees and they decided to go into blue collar careers because they got out of this mentality. Now, I am someone who has studied languages. I love languages, but I hate office jobs. I like editing these videos. I like making them. I love creating my paintings. I recently started a wheel throwing course, and I could see myself doing that as a job. I think I would be a lot happier than with the marketing job that I have right now. I just don't know if it's possible now that I'm 30. And I also still would like to pursue my PhD. It's just quite difficult to get into like the positions that your parents were in when they were your age. I think part of that is economics and part of that is due to your upbringing. Now, not sure how to phrase this, but I think your parents' imagination set you up for failure or for success. What do I mean when I say that your parents' imagination set you up for success? Well, this is my theory, and it relates to what I said earlier, that you cannot imagine what you cannot fathom. If you cannot engender the thought of something, it's not going to come up because of you. It will come up because of random circumstances. Example, jobs. How old were you when you discovered a new job? I was today years old. You can be a prop stylist. Food stylist. A job that I had never considered growing up, that I think I would enjoy quite a lot, is grooming, like dog grooming and cat grooming. Amazing, you get to be with animals all day. Surely there are like quite many drawbacks. Horse chiropractor? What the fuck? What the fuck? I never knew that existed until I met a horse chiropractor at a yoga retreat. What the fuck? And then I met a food stylist. She told me, yes, I style food on photo shoots. I was like, what the fuck? Are you shitting me? In my head, when I was a child, the jobs that existed were what my parents did, and those were the jobs I absolutely should not end up doing, because they told me, no, you are not going to do our jobs because you are smarter than us. You are more intelligent. You are going to do jobs with your mind, not with your hands. See the dichotomy here. You are going to go to the university and get a degree and get a good job. The jobs that existed in my head, because those were the jobs I heard people talking about, were journalist, lawyer, doctor, architect, artist. But artists, those were all dead. This is something that for a long time held up in my head, because like artist was not a job. Then there was a vet, veterinarian. There was, what else? Politician. And to think of how many incredible jobs exist, I started thinking, how could someone expose their kids to these different ideas? How can we make sure that kids know that there are so many more paths available to them, and that for every job that you can imagine right now, there are 10 more that you have no idea they exist, and they are probably super cool. Like, I didn't know that seasonal tree planting in Canada was a thing. That sounds like a blast. People get paid to be on the fire lookouts? What? This is not a thing in Italy, I think. But like, wow, cool. Obviously, I knew that service jobs were a thing. I wasn't exactly encouraged to go into the service industry. I really don't like people. But everything is about people in life, unfortunately. If I had to give any advice to a young parent, it would be to expose your child to as many people as possible, to as many realities as possible, and to do so with neutrality or positively, so that they won't inherit your preconceptions that can limit them, especially because children are not aware of these dynamics. Children cannot know that if a parent is demeaning towards service worker, that is just because their parent is a dick, and it doesn't mean that service work isn't dignified work, good work, valuable work. People who have made me a cup of tea, served me a latte, people who have warmed up a pastry for me, they have made my day so many times. And I was also in the service industry for a while when I was studying. Yeah, be nice to service workers. And I can tell who has never worked in the service industry a day in their life. Like, you can tell. You absolutely can tell. This was also going to double as a what I eat in a day video, but when I started cooking, it got a little bit fuzzy, and it gets a little bit difficult to eat. So I'm just going to have rice cakes. It's tofu paste with cranberries. I swear, whoever designed these kind of contraptions, no, why they are so, like, they open like this and it's almost impossible to reseal, because, and then they are going to become all softened and like soggy. Whoever thought about this? Like, engineers probably. That's why I don't consider them people. If something bothers me, I want to make sure that other people know it. That, or not speaking and enduring it. Like when my landlady told me, I would like to sit down for lunch with you, have a pizza. There is this pizzeria that I love close to my place. I felt like it would be, this is maybe a bit paranoid, but I wanted to ask, can you tell me the name of the pizzeria? But I thought then she will ask me why I want to know it. Maybe she will start thinking that I don't want to go there, or that I will judge her choice. Whilst I just wanted to check their vegan options. So what I did, I went on Google Maps and Googled pizzeria, and I looked at all the menus of the pizzerias in the area. The pizza was very good. I'm gonna have this very sad lunch and keep making my kimchi, because then I have to log in and start working. Guys, my hands smell so much like garlic and onion. Time to make the slurry. Now I need to check. I don't have rice flour, but I have cornstarch. At least what I think is cornstarch. Krobion. Ziemniaczana. It's potato starch. I mean, it's a starch. This amount? Yeah. I will also put some salt in here just to make sure. I think this is not enough. I don't follow recipes. It really is just vibes. I think it needs to be... I'll add more water. And I go in to these little places just to make sure that... Okay. Now, let's turn this on. Okay. Keep mixing. It's a bit gulpy. Maybe it's not a good texture. You know, my friends, I think I fucked up. Fuck. I am going to take a break. I'm going to rinse the cabbage, put everything in the fridge, and I'm gonna take a break. Yes, because I can't do this anymore. I bit off more than I could chew. And potato starch is not good to make a kimchi. We have learned this. I have learned it. Maybe, possibly, you knew it. I did not. I'm so tired. So guys, turns out that cornstarch is not very widely used in Poland. So yeah, I'm going to use normal flour and fuck it. First, let's rinse our cabbage. It has released a lot of moisture and it's soft and salty but still crunchy in the stems, which is great. I don't know how much I'm using, obviously. Just making sure I don't have lumps. Oh, now it's starting to come together. It's going to be very spicy. So I was not recording. Fuck my life. I made a kimchi. It's going to stay like this for about a day, and I'm going to move it a little bit, and now I'm going to clean my kitchen. See you later I will see you at dinner. Bye.